Okay. Too low? Oh, okay. Wait.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Studio 84 in Bugalobi. It's so nice to have you here. I'd like to welcome my guests for today. I have Sharon and Hamis. Would you please introduce yourselves?
Thank you very much, Rafi. It is so good to be here at Studio 84. My name is Sharon Tumasime, and I am a business owner, and I'm excited to be here today. I'll talk a little bit more into the businesses that I do, but let me just let Miss say hello as well.
Thank you very much, Sharon, and thank you, Rafaela, for hosting us this afternoon. My name is Hamis Sewagude Mukasa, and just like Sharon, I'm a business person and a farmer as well. Yeah, I'm quite excited to be here. I'm quite living my dream.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. I hope we're being ticked off that bucket list. Wonderful. Really special to have you here. Now, you've both said business owners. Now, I do believe we have one thing in common, the three of us. We all belong to BNI, Business Network International. That is where
Oh,
we met
yes.
each other, became friends, and have discovered, understood each other's businesses. Now, we all have, let's say, that day job, right? The business that we run on a day to day basis.
Yeah.
And then we have other businesses or other interests that we pursue as well. And in BNI, the important thing is understanding each other's business, but more than anything, understanding the person and what that person is dreaming, aiming to do, grow, expand, and then possibly collaborate. If you find things in common, things that can drive passion together, that can grow into an experience, why not take it further? And I believe we're here to talk about that today as well.
Yes.
So, can I ask you, Sharon, to share a little bit about what I consider this collaboration between the two of you?
Okay. So, like you said, yes, we do. In BNI, we represent different things, but we have hobbies that we have. I'm going to call them it's going to be called a hobby on my side. I don't know if for Hamis it's also a hobby, but I think he also enjoys to do it. That's why he said he's a farmer. But in BNI, predominantly we represent our main business, which is carpentry for me, a woodwork and design house called Pallet, where we make furniture. Yes, but today we are going to talk about something that I love to do very much, probably more than my clients. And that is the business of just taking children on tours just to learn and be outdoors and experience life differently from the usual classroom environment. And so because I do different tours and I'm always trying to think what can we do out there that children will enjoy as well as learn from. So it's really, what could I say, fun learning, learning in the outdoors, learning outside of a classroom. So recently, maybe about a couple of months ago, sometime last year, Hamis invited us to his farm to see some of the things that he does at that farm. And we had such a good time. And then a couple of months later, he sends me a picture and he's at the farm with his children. And I'm like, there we go. I'm going to take some children to the farm and we're going to have a good time. So this holiday, we're going to take children to his farm. So we decided to collaborate. That business that I do, it's called Quest Excursions. So we take children on an excursion, which is really a tour. Yes, so it's called Quest Excursions, meaning quest, like a quest, and then an excursion, a tour. So that's what we are going to do this holiday. So we're here to talk about how we collaborated on that, and we're collaborating to do, a lot more things, but specifically the tour, which is happening this weekend.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Hamis, how did you come into this collaboration in the sense that you invited Sharon to the farm? She enjoyed her day there, so left with this positive experience. And then by chance, you sent her this picture and it inspired her to discuss the possibility of bringing other children?
Yes, talk about having one-to-one meetings with each other. I mean, I've been a member for about 4.5 years now, so of course we've had quite back-to-back one-to-ones with Sharon. She knows what I like, I know what she likes. I've been her client before, and she's been our client as well. So we've been able to exchange pleasantries in that regard. So I have a dream. And in the beginning, it was also a dream. I just woke up one day and I wanted to plant trees. I couldn't explain where this came from. I talked to a few people around, and I'm a strong-willed person. I mean, it doesn't matter who is for me and who is against me. If I need something, I'll do it. So I started tree planting, and of course, you know how we make rookie mistakes. Yeah, that happened. Along the way, I started a coffee farm, and I got quite interested in tree planting. And I went to the National Forestry Authority nursery somewhere in Namamve. I had a look at the types of trees that they had, and then I picked interest in a few. I got some eucalyptus, I got some terminalia, and then Myopsis BNI. So I planted those three, and the eucalyptus did really well. The Myopsis not so much. The terminalia is superb. It's amazing. I don't even want to cut it. So it was from these that I realized that, someone can make a living from agroforestry. But then along the way, I realized that then planting trees and then cutting them down and then planting more trees doesn't really make sense for me. So I imagined that what if I came up with a retreat house at the farm? I mean, this is something we all struggle with. We're all tired of town. I mean, Monday to Friday can get quite hectic. So someone would want a place where they would go and unwind, especially when they don't have so many days away. So I imagined that I can set up a retreat house at the farm. But I said, before I set up the retreat house, right now we're in the design stage. I said that what can I do with this space? I realized I can host people here for lunch, brunch, picnics, and we tried it out. The first time they came, that was in November. We had a very good time. Such short notice. It was after our meeting on a Wednesday. We went. It was a rainy day. Very lucky that day it didn't rain a bit. So we loved the experience with all the other members. And then Sharon had told me her passion with kids and then taking them on tours. So the time that I went with my kids, they love the farm actually. They love going there over the weekend, riding their bikes. It's a very big space. So for them, it makes a lot of sense. So I just shared with her a photo, I was very carefree about it. And I told her, this is how we're spending our weekend. And she loved what she saw. The kids really loved it. They were in their element. So she thought that it's something that she could do. So here we are today. And of course, we've closed registration, but we have so many parents that feel that they should have been part of it, either because the kids are still in school or for whatever reason they're not around. But like I was saying earlier, we shall create version 2.0, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yeah, so that's it really.
Wonderful, thank you. Well, I know that I am one of the parents who's already signed up on the waiting list for version 2.0.
It's written all over your eyes.
Exactly. Because I'd be really keen to have the kids come. I mean, kids, nature, adventure,
Yes.
on a quest. There's everything, every element in there to love.
Yeah.
So what should children expect out of this day, Sharon, when they come to the farm?
All right. So Quest Excursion, just our mission, really, what we dream of doing is just to engage children in some safe, fun, adventurous space where they learn from. So when you listen to those words, that's what they really can expect on this tour. Yes, that's what they can really expect on this tour. So there'll be fun, there'll be an adventure, because we're in the outdoors, and children, even if it's just outside in a staircase, they'll find a way to have some adventure in that space. So being children and being outdoor, we're going to have lots of adventure, but just to really give you a sneak peek into it, we're going to do hiking. Mm-hmm. You've heard Hamis saying the space is big. And if I can just talk a little bit about hiking. In the past, when I talk about Quest is a business that we run with someone else in BNI, actually, Jenny, just that she's not around town for this one. So we once took children to Mabira Forest.
Okay.
Yeah, where they did a lot of tree planting and they really enjoyed it. But because they're children and the forest was so big, I was a bit uncomfortable that they were so far in the middle of nowhere. I don't know how well mapped Mabira is.
Fair enough.
So yes. seeing her Mrs. Place, much as, yes, it's big, but it's a private farm.
Yeah.
It's a tree farm that's private, so it's safe. It's enclosed. So there's as far as they can go, and it's easy to track and trace the children. So hence, that's why, we say safe. The safe element is really important for any parent.
Yes.
If I can say, because on these trips, parents don't come on these trips. We don't encourage parents. For obvious reasons. I'm not going to say why, but we don't encourage parents there, because when parents show up, then they don't allow children to be free to have a good time, because you're parents, so you worry, don't jump, don't, yet that's what we want them to do, want them to jump and have a good time. So for me, his farm spoke into that element of safety, because it's contained, but it still delivers what we want, to be able to experience the wild and being out there. So yes, we are going to do a lot of hiking. So we're going to walk through. We're going to do a lot of learning. We're going to learn about forests. These are some of the things they've learned in class, but maybe they didn't get to experience it or hear from somebody else or see it even as they're studying about it. Yes, someone might say they might be able to watch a video, but it's not the same experience, we all know.
Absolutely.
Exactly. That's why even when we can see Dubai on YouTube, you still want to go to Dubai, and experience it nonetheless. So we're going to experience learning. We're going to learn about natural forests, man-made forests, different types of trees, how you can conserve trees. So there'll be a lot of learning. There's an education part of it. We're going to plant trees. I don't know if your children have planted trees, but these ones are going to plant trees. And then we are going to have a scavenger hunt. Yes, we're going to have a picnic. I don't know the last time your children went on a picnic. So we're going to have a picnic. We're going to do some rock painting. So we're going to paint our rocks out there. We'll pick them there probably. I don't know if Hamis's farm has enough rocks, but we're going to pick something and paint it there. We are going to do, what else are we going to do? We're going to play games. We're going to play Twister in the wild and all sorts of things, while we're out there in the outdoors. So we're going to have a good time. So fun, adventure, and learning, all and in a safe space that's contained. So we're going to have a good time.
That sounds wonderful. And then I'm assuming the children don't necessarily all know each other, right? Some might be boarding whichever means of transport you're using to take them and making new friends.
Yes, the children do not know each other. So what we do, we are not doing this tour with the school, so they don't know each other. So it's an opportunity, of course, to get to meet and network and form new friendships that who knows what will become of them in the future. So what happens is that we're going to meet at one central place, that's the National Council of Sports, and then we'll go together. So it's not a case of drop off your children at the farm. No, we will not have that. So we'll all go together. So even the trip, which is about how many kilometers out of here?
It's 85.
About 85 kilometers from Kampala. That's also a space where we're going to have a good time. We're going to play games on the ride. We're just, wow, you guys are going to miss.
I can hear your enthusiasm and definitely the passion
I know, that's why I keep telling you, I'm more excited than the children.
I can see. Do you plan to win any games, Sharon? Is that why you're so excited? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Yes.
So, on the farm, what do you think the farm gives to children? I mean, being out there, especially as most of these are coming from the city. Yes, I'm sure they've been out and about, but they're coming to your farm. What do you feel your farm can give them?
Number one, the farm gives them nature. We all know how tight the space is in the city and how congested, how dusty. But at the farm, you have a chance to breathe that breath of fresh air, and you get to see where food comes from. Yeah, because many people don't know where food comes from. They just imagine that you order on Glovo, and then it comes to you.
Miss Wall.
I know a few.
I believe that chicken looks like that at stage one. Exactly.
Yes, exactly. So we're going back to factory settings. Actually, as I walked into the show today, someone was talking to me about manufacturing, and they said that I think it's a good idea for you to go into manufacturing in the electrical supply space. And I told them, actually, I think otherwise, because I feel that agribusiness is doing better, and agro-processing would make much more sense. I mean, food is going nowhere. the market is only going higher and higher. So in that essence, it would make more sense for the kids to know where the food comes from. And then we need to interest them in tree planting when they're still young, because we all know how purposeful it is for us to have trees. And Uganda is naturally blessed with very good vegetation and very good tropical climate. I mean, you can plant all year round with a bit of irrigation here and there. So at a certain point, we also irrigated, by the way. Yeah, and but it was because of commitment that we were able to get that far. So the farm will offer that, and then they also have a chance to play, and then kids will be kids. It's amazing how when the kids go into the wild, let me call it the wild, how much they exert themselves. They love it. They love to jump over the streams and ask questions left, right, and center, and they always do want to end the day when they're at the farm.
Oh, that's good. So you're guaranteeing happy and sleepy children on the way back. I think that's a win-win for everyone at the end of the day.
I don't know. They'll be sleepy when they get home. That's what I always thought, that at the end of the tour, they are so exhausted, but they are so excited.
Exactly.
And now, they have finally, because when they meet the first time, they're sort of trying to get to know who they are. They're a bit quiet. So maybe for the first 1 hour, there's silence on the bus. People are just, hush tones. By the time it is maybe 11 a.m., you're just saying, keep quiet. Listen to the tour guide. They don't want. So you can imagine on the way back, now they are at the
They will have
peak.
taken over
The
completely.
noise is just unbelievable. And you're just like, where are these parents? Why don't they pick their children? We've had enough for one day.
We need to give them back.
Exactly.
Time to return. There's a return policy
Yes.
here in place.
So sleepy children when they get home. But me, I'm not going to see any, I know. I won't see any sleepy children. Yes.
So, and I see that the age range for children is 6 to 13 years.
Yes.
Why this age range?
Those are the ones that are more adventurous. They are the ones that are still at the stage where they are learning with, their hands by doing and seeing things. And I feel like those are at that age, once they learn something, they never forget it. They never ever forget about it, whether it's the experience, whether they learn, but also the things that we're doing are more related to their curriculums more than ever. So we want to supplement what they're learning in class. These are topics that they're doing at that level. And then the level of information we're delivering is for their level. Yes, so that's why. And I feel like that's the age which will benefit the most from an excursion, from this outdoor learning. I think there are some of these countries where that's what they do. In the afternoons, there's no class. You just go out and explore and things like those. So that's the good age where people learn by seeing and doing. Yes, yeah. So I feel that's the best stage. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And then, of course, they are not teenagers yet. Teenagers don't like to talk. They don't like to walk.
And you certainly can't get them off their gadgets.
Some of them.
Are you going?
Yes.
So, Hamis, do you have a device to block internet once they're on the farm? Is there a policy where you have to leave your phone at the gate? How are you going to manage for some of these preteens in case they're not as engaged initially? Is that something we need to think about?
Unfortunately, when I go away, I love to go to spaces that don't have cellular reception. And on the opposite, we actually have some of the best reception in Uganda at the farm. But the good news is we regulate gadget usage.
Yeah.
And for example, once we are out of the car, we've arrived at the farm, we'll stop using gadgets whatsoever. But then also, I imagine, Sharon, when they're making their way to the farm, they shouldn't be using gadgets.
No, we are going to encourage.
Yes, encourage
So
them
it's
Fair
not
enough.
to bring
Yes,
them.
yeah. Be in the
yes.
moment, right?
Yeah.
Yes, because otherwise,
We
Artificial
usually
intelligence
encourage
is
that
quite a
don't.
thing right now, but
Yeah.
we'll find a way. So really, we can regulate that, and once they get acclimatized to the place, they'll forget about the gadgets. That one I
Yes.
guarantee.
Yeah, because we're going to do a lot of, like I said, hiking. We're going to use our hands for several other things. It will be hard to multitask. You know how they can multitask, and but if your mom tells you to cook, it can be a bit hard to cook while you're on your phone. So it's one of those things where you have to use your hands and feet. So I'm sure the gadget, we shall find a way to manage it. But also that's part of the tour experience. It allows them a day when they're off gadgets at least.
No, absolutely. And it's important. Anyway, back to nature, as you said, Hamis. So that's very, very important. So kids, tree farm, tour, and picnic.
Yeah.
First episode of this collaboration this week, and we need to wait and look out for version 2.0.
Oh, yes.
Yes?
Yes.
So we hope that'll be very soon. I'm sure
Yes.
after you've carried this one out, you'll be able to look at what more you can add, what can be new, what you've
Exactly.
learned,
Yes.
right? So, Sharon, one more thing. Tell me, the collaboration. What else do you feel we need to know? What else have you learned from this upcoming experience?
Well, what else we need to know is, for example, for the BNI members, as you're doing those one-to-ones, don't just tick off the box of, just did the one-to-one, go and log BNI Connect, done, thank you very much. There's a lot more you can do as members of BNI beyond what the person does every day, each and every day. So when you're doing one-to-ones, think, outside the box and see how you can collaborate with this person or even help them to generate better referrals. Yes, just by being at the farm now, I think I can refer Hamis to certain other people who will want, to get into farming, for example. That can be a referral for him. He can start a consultancy. I don't know if he charges to give people advice. So that's a way to generate referrals for him as well, that are outside the usual business that he represents. But also for someone out there in BNI who might have a service that he needs that I could be able to see. So for me, I would say that person who's in BNI, think beyond for what you can do for this person. Think, more into how can we work together? Who can this person work with that can be able to do a lot more for them or the two of them and get a lot more value so that we don't leave money on the table right there. Because yes, we are charging for this collaboration, for example, and we'll make some money at the end of it all. Yes, it's not just a hobby. We're going to make some money as well while we're at it, and everybody can use some more money. Yes.
No one's saying no.
Yes. So, but for this tour, I hope to learn a lot more and see what else I can do while we're there. Right now, I'm a bit cautious on the things that we can do, but while we're there, I'm sure the next tour we will be able to do even a lot more. Like he said, we've already closed. We want a minimum number of children so that we can be able to make sure their experience is worth it.
Manage
Yes,
expectations,
manage expectations in
safety
case
and
of
all that,
anything,
yes.
safety, because we haven't had that big number of children apart from her niece's many children. How many do you have now? I'm kidding.
Those ones.
But they are not enough to form a whole excursion.
In that photo, there were some kids from the neighbors.
Yes, so to see, this is really like to see what more. Can we take a bigger bus? Can we have a school here? Can we, we're going to be able to see that. But what else can be done in the wild? Can they climb trees? We're going to find out all those things. So we are definitely going to improve on what we're going to do together. Maybe there's a neighboring farm we can meet. Maybe we can walk longer because we might say, let them walk, maybe 1 kilometer. Then we realize after 1 kilometer, they were not tired. Maybe they can do 2, So we are going to find out a lot more such that the people that come for version 2.0 will definitely have even a much better experience. So those who are coming for version 1.0, this one, don't say I've already been on that tour. The next one is definitely going to have a lot more than what we did. And what we try to do is we don't want to repeat the same things when we do a tour.
Nice.
Yes. So if we go and tour, for example, because sometimes in these excursions we do factories. There's one where we do a business tour, we go and visit factories. Or we go and do, a technology tour, and, we're planning to go and visit the guys that make cars and assemble at Kira Motors and things like those. So we try and make sure that each tour is different, so that all the children are covered and taken care of. So I'm sure we're going to have a lot more for the next one. So collaboration is definitely the way to go. Like I said, I tried it with Mavira. The experience wasn't so good as I would have loved to because they don't know me. The forestry guys don't know me. But here we have a collaboration with someone we know so well. So whatever my concerns are, he's keen on addressing them. Whatever the concerns are, but also he's also a parent, so his mind is in the right place. So for collaboration, it's better with someone that you know, because then you're able to, they can customize so much and bend over just to make sure that your experience is worth it. So for me, collaboration, it's like teamwork. It's teamwork. Yes.
Thank you, Sharon. Hamis, could you have seen this collaboration coming just from inviting her to a lunch on the farm? Could you have seen it go this far?
Absolutely not. I hadn't imagined this. And it's amazing because Sharon is quite foresighted. Yeah, she bears a very big vision, and I'm also glad to be tapping into that vision.
Thank you.
Yes.
Wow.
Rafi, you don't look happy. I'm imagining all the other adults out there like you because the kids are going to miss out and things of the like. I have some good news for you.
Please.
For the adults especially, who may not be smiling because the kids will be missing this. As you'll see after the picnic is done, we have a site that is quite encouraging for a forest wedding. So for those people that are looking to get married and especially budget is a problem, with about 30 million shillings, you can have a proper wedding. I mean, you can do your chapel there or the mosque procession there, and then you can have your dinner there as well. We can actually set up something for you. So for those that are really considering it, the site is up and ready, and it can be done.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wedding in the wild with romance.
Oh yes,
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 yes.
yeah. Rafi,
Yeah.
your kind
Yeah,
of
she's-
thing.
she's
Ah, yeah,
not
she's
smiling.
finally
Yes, no,
smiling.
I'm smiling. Definitely, when friends ask for ideas, that's very nice to
It is.
know.
Yes,
Yes,
and of
yes.
course, you don't have to be newlyweds. I mean, you could be celebrating your anniversary. It could be
Exactly.
something like that.
Yeah.
Mm. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Yes, no,
Yes.
indeed. And I'm assuming not just weddings, but if there was another kind of ceremony, you know, a child's baptism or something. Anyway, I'm sure,
Any
yes,
event.
if the
Yes.
space is available and it's conducive, you know, and nature needs no embellishment, right?
Nothing.
So it speaks for itself, it stands for itself. So absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that is the wonder of BNI, isn't it?
It
Because
is.
just today, for example, I learned that one of our BNI members plays the drum and likes jazz music. And I'm
Wow.
starting to think that we might just have a sunrise band because I now know that we have a piano player.
Pianist, yes.
You know, so
Yeah.
it's true. You need to scratch the surface. We are not one dimensional. There's so much more to each BNI member. Hidden
Yeah.
talents, unknown hobbies, passions that have been lurking, a part of your life of the past. Maybe you gave some up, you've started it off again. So it is
Yes.
important to ask those questions, to listen out for those clues.
Exactly.
Because you never know what will come out of
And I'm a
it.
percussionist.
Since now? Or?
If you dig deeper into my past, these are some of the things that will
These
come
are
up.
some of the things, yes, indeed. That's why I was
Yes,
saying we need
it's
to ask
true.
those
Yes.
questions.
There have been so many collaborations. I don't know if we're going to do a bit more series on collaborations in BNI that people have done that have been unlikely,
Yeah.
you know. So really for that person who thinks that BNI is not a space for me, my business has already, you know, taken off, this is for startups or whatever. It is amazing what BNI can do. Today in the meeting, we had an interesting collaboration, you know, with the school and a saloon owner, you know. Very unlikely. I'm sure when she was joining BNI, she never ever thought about it until she was in that moment. So for me, it is, you know, the power of networks, the power of building relationships. But like they keep saying, it's about farming. That relationship has to be farmed. On the first one-to-one, this never came up at all. You know, he just came, saw chairs, saw wood in the workshop. That was it. But with time that has gone on, you know, over 4 years later, look where we are and look at
beds.
what we're doing. And beds. So for anyone that belongs to, really, it might not even be BNI, any space where you're networking with someone, work on those relationships, because, you know, it's from those relationships, that interaction, that eventually that one opportunity that could change your life would happen in that space. So, you know, go on and network as much as possible, farm those relationships, give, you know, take time to know what people do, who they are, how you can help them, and you just never know.
Absolutely. So, Hamis, just before closing, which is the most eccentric or interesting talent you discovered someone had in BNI that was not their profession, something that really surprised you when you got to know them better?
Apart from mine, of course.
Clearly.
Anyone doing magic? Anyone doing stand-up comedy? Anyone doing anything
Well,
really out of the ordinary?
One, Rafi, you're an actress. That really took me by surprise with the cards. And you guys have amazing shows. So that's something that I didn't expect. And then on the other side, we have a gentleman called Paul Mwanga. He's a songwriter.
Yes,
Yeah, and it's something that he really prides himself in.
true.
And let me see who else. Who else? I think, yeah, Sharon, you remember at the BNI convention in Singapore.
Oh.
BNI has got talent.
Yes,
There's that
yes.
particular part of the convention where people come and they really showcase their talent. They're amazing dancers there. There's the gentleman from, is it Australia? No, he's in Japan. He lives in Japan. Yeah, he has an amazing song, and the backbone of it is BNI. So
Yes.
there's quite a number of people, and I've seen the same in other countries as well. I think in Kenya we've seen a few as well. Yeah, so it's quite interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And very often these talents bring a lot of joy as well, don't
Absolutely.
they? Because it's
Yeah.
true. I mean, we've seen when we've hosted
Yes.
social
Was there
events
a fire
or
speaker,
themed.
or did
Oh
I
gosh.
watch that somewhere else? Could have been a fire speaker.
Well, which chapter is
guy.
that now?
I can speak in tongues. I can try.
That fire speaker.
Okay.
Oh my, oh my.
I'm
oh
wondering
my.
now, did I watch that on YouTube or was it at a BNI convention?
But anyway, but the good thing is in BNI we also have fire safety, so we're covered, right? Because if
Oh,
one is
yes.
causing it, the other one will put it out. And that's the wonderful thing in BNI. Someone will start, someone will finish. So, so we're covered, absolutely.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming along to share all this. It's amazing that from carpentry and electrical supplies, here we are on an adventure going off to the farm. It's for
Yes.
children to make new friends, learn, reconnect with nature, and have an amazing time.
Amazing time. Yes, so look out for our statuses on Friday, Hamis and myself.
Yeah, they'll be blazing.
You can catch the action there.
And we want those action shots of you running after kids, putting out fans.
Sharon, are you
We
ready?
want to see the fun element in it.
There will be no fun in the fundamentals. It's true.
So if anyone now, watch just before we go, if we need to find details for the upcoming 2.0,
Yes.
adventure on the farm, where do we find this information?
On our social media,
Okay.
Facebook and Instagram, Quest Excursion.
Quest Excursion. Okay, so for this Friday, May the 17th, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
The farm at Gomba.
Yes.
And children will be meeting you at the National Council of Sports, Lugogo.
Yes, that's where
Fee
we're
is
picking
100
and dropping.
Okay.
And the spelling of Quest is Kwest.
T. So
Yes.
Quest with a
Yeah,
K.
with a K.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So this Friday, the fee is 150,000 for this trip.
Yes.
Uganda shillings.
Uganda shillings.
Full board. It's also called full board.
Full board. You take them, you feed them, you
Yes.
entertain them, you bring them
And
back.
we bring them back.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes,
Well,
yeah.
I see that the flyer is there for everyone to see as well.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day at the farm.
Yep.
Thank you so much for coming to Studio 84. Please don't forget to like our channels as well, because we're going to be showcasing you on them as well. And we
right.
look forward for you to come back. Let us know how this day went and tell us about version 2.0 when it's about to set off.
Definitely. We'll be
Thank you.
back. Thank you for having us. It's been amazing.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good day from Studio 84.